It's the beginning of the end for the missile group at the Grand Forks Air Force Base.
Today, crews removed the first of 150 missiles. Grand Forks is losing its missile mission under recommendations approved by the Base Realignment and Closure Commission. The first missile to go came from a site near Langdon. And as Aaron Quanbeck reports, the process is slow and tedious.
Early this morning, crews from the Grand Forks Air Force Base arrived at this site near Langdon, known as Alpha 4, to begin the process of deactivating the 321st Missile Group. A convoy of Air Force personnel and members of the media were on hand for the event. Nothing is left to chance. Reporters' equipment was searched before being allowed beyond the gate. Then the long process of missile removal began.
It takes a lot of patience, and it's long. However, as you see, everyone here, you can see they're all professionals. They know what they're doing. They have done this dozens of times before. Actually, removing a missile is not a new thing. We have to do maintenance. We sometimes take them out to Vandenberg to do test launches on them.
This missile's warhead was removed earlier and is being stored on base. The transporter erector, which transports the missile, is backed up to the launch closure door. The transporter must be within an inch of the launch closure door before it can be erected. Then, the concrete reinforced launch closure door, weighing 220,000 pounds, is slowly opened. Crews then place a sling rod in the hole, which hooks underneath the missile to pull it up. The cables are a mile long, although not all of them are used. The missile moves only about 80 feet per hour. The whole process on site takes about 7 hours.
The challenge will be to make sure that we do everything right in accordance with the plan and to make sure we do it safely. Total success will be no incidences and no injuries between now and the time it's all done.
This missile, along with 29 others, will be going to Hill Air Force Base in Utah. A majority of the others will be transferred to Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana.
What a great way to end this missile here at Grand Forks. Pulling it up and putting it in a truck and taking it away down the road to another place. When I look at it, it's really the best job that I've never had to do.
This is just the start of a long 3-year process. If all goes well, one missile will be removed each week from the 321st Missile Group. Near Langdon, Aaron Quanbeck, WDAZ News Center 8.
In for Grand Forks Air Force Base's 321st Missile Group. The first of its 150 Minuteman missiles was hoisted today from a silo near Langdon, North Dakota, and prepared for transport to another base. It's just one step of the 6-day site realignment process, and as Jenna Davis reports, it's bound to make Air Force history.
Realignment becomes a reality as Air Force men and women watch the missile transporter roll onto Grand Forks' northernmost missile site. But unbelievably, it doesn't bring with it a feeling of disappointment. Only excitement from workers who spend their careers training to do this kind of missile pull.
I'm excited. This is the first one, okay? This is what I was sent up here to do. So this is kind of like the birth of my job, so to speak. I get to see the actual first removal of the missile, and that's the first step in our realignment process.
Everything has to be just so, and that's why it's very important. So it took a lot of pride. They got it the first time, and a lot of training goes into what these guys do from the time they get here until the time they actually come out here and work on an operational site.
The white truck is the transporter erector. It backs in and must line up perfectly with the pylons, which act as a pivot support for the rocket's weight of 70,000 pounds. They then stand the transporter straight up and pull back the 110-ton reinforced concrete lid, exposing the Stage 3 missile for the first time since July 1992. Now, the re-entry vehicle, or the warhead as many call it, is removed prior to this stage, and details of the transport are kept top secret. But officials say safety is still a major priority.
It's a hazardous operation. We've got a missile that's loaded with solid propellant, so it's hazardous. You're dealing with extreme weights out here.
Removal of the missiles will continue at a rate of 50 per year for 3 years. This is the first time the Air Force has organized a realignment, while other group missiles remain on alert. With photographer Darren Narlock, I'm Jenna Davis for KX News 4 near Lake.